services and open the existing services. I'm going to open one of these. I'm just going to open the half month. There's a half month service here and use that for demonstration. I'd like to point you to the category section, which is the first section, and you'll see that we've got another service here. There's general and there's now internet service. What does this do for the service? We talked about, when you are creating a customer, we talked about the separation between customer and service account, and we mentioned open invoices, which you're going to look at in the invoicing section. But this particular service also has something to do with that, in the sense that if you're going to bill for items other than internet, some of them might be items that you've put in your system. It could be you have a consulting price and it is constant and you put that on the system, or a certain other service that you'd want to charge the customer that is not an internet service. You also have the open invoice. You can put anything, but you can also put services. And if you can put services and they don't have to be internet, then you can add any services to simplify your one-off billing. So that's why I put in a different category to show you that you can be able to actually do that. But the one we need, the one that is very important, is the internet category. That is the one that we use for billing. It is going to be there by default, and that is the one that you should be putting in all your internet packages. You could see that there's a name for the package, a short name we also looked at previously, the price for the package, a discount amount. If you put a discount here, it's going to be applicable to pretty much all the people that renew this service. If someone renews this service after you've saved that discount, they're going to get that discount, regardless of what is going to be in the invoice. So this discount is going to be implemented. We do provide localized discounts, and the way we do that is we start off by looking at the service discount. If it is there, we implement it. If it's not there, we trickle down. If they are both there, we are going to start with the one that is in the service. So the next section is billing type. You have several. You have got three to be specific. One-off billing type, and that is usually going to be selected for some of those other categories like general, where you want to bill like a consulting thing or something else unrelated to specifically internet. Let's go back to internet. Then you have the prepaid and the recurring. Now these ones are internet specific billing types. The prepaid one is what is commonly referred to as any day is a billing day. If the customer pays on 5th, they are disconnected on 5th the next month. If they pay on 6th, they are disconnected on 6th the next month. That is any day is a billing day. It is only going to happen like that if your period is elapsing 30 days. Otherwise, as you can see evidently here, half a month, you can put 15 days. You can even put 1 day here. It's up to you. You can put 5. Whichever days you put for recurring are the ones that this particular package is going to use. Whereas on recurring billing type, you don't get an opportunity to decide how many days, because recurring is going to be on a monthly fixed plan. If it is on Feb, it is 28th. If that is the days of the month for Feb on that year. If it is 31st, it is 31st. For that month period, you're not going to be able to change it. So that you can also call it a monthly billing arrangement. So you've got only those two types for internet. You can choose whichever works best for that particular package, and then you can be able to proceed with the rest of the configurations. So the targeted customer type is also very crucial when the customers are being onboarded in leads, or when the customers are being allowed facilities to select your services, send a service request. When they select the different settings that are available, options, if they say that they are looking for a connection of type home or type business, they're going to be scoped to the services that you've earmarked for that type. So this one is very important. So you select the appropriate one. Is it business or is it home? If you leave it as non-applicable, that means it's just going to be offered to pretty much anyone. The next section is the description, and the section after that is the setup fee. We are going to come back to the setup fee shortly. The next section we have is the connection type, which is also very instrumental. If a customer picks connection type, the salesperson creating a lead, whatever package that is available to them is also going to be based on that connection type. And the connection type will dictate a lot of things going forward. It's going to dictate how the service accounts that have this package are going to be configured. It's going to dictate pretty much everything in as far as connection is concerned going forward. So you select the one that is appropriate for your package, then you set up the shaping that you want people to be able to receive on this package, and then you update. Synchronized accounts is some sort of a management or an administrative feature, so that if you've made changes to even the shaping, they're only going to be affected the next time the client connects. So if you wanted that to be implemented immediately, then you'd have to synchronize those accounts. Otherwise, it's going to be implemented on a per connection basis. So below that, we have service available in, and this is basically region demarcation. I'd want customers in a specific region to access a microwave service because that is where I have coverage. Or I'd want customers in a specific region or town to access fiber package X because my fiber cable has actually reached that particular area. So this is very helpful so that your salespeople are not out there punching in services that have got nothing to do with the regions they're actually making sales in, or packages that are not even reachable to the customers. They are trying to selling them on those packages. It is very good for scoping. You can scope your sales, and you can also scope how your services are distributed. Mirror that on the system as it is on the ground. And obviously, if you don't put this one, it means it's available for pretty much every other place. The next area is the downgrade and upgrade section. We covered this when we were looking at upgrade and downgrade. You should go check that video in the service account subsection, upgrade, downgrade. We covered that. And this is where you actually set what is going to be available for the service account to upgrade or to downgrade to. So it's very important that you set that if you need that feature to be available for people in this particular package. Below that, we have the service components, which we have mentioned up here that we are going to look at. The setup fee is what is compiled from service components. We want to select radio here, and it has a rate of 2 shillings from the inventory. We look at inventory much later, and we create that. The setup fee should change. Good. So you can see the setup fee has changed. So what is the service components? So service components is our way of providing you with the seamless billing that encompasses field work and inventory components. This service is it's a microwave service, and we know that at the very minimum, a microwave service is going to require a radio. So why should we wait for that information to be keyed in into the invoice while we can put that in the service? When the customer is being billed, they are going to be automatically billed for that radio, for that installation. That's why we included the service components. It helps in streamlining that process. It's going to put those items into the invoice, make them available for billing, as well as put those items into the job card when the billing has been finalized. So it saves you a lot of manual work. If you needed something done, you needed a labor entry to go into the job card, this is where you'd be able to put it. So you put in items that are supposed to come out of the inventory, and you also put items that are supposed to find themselves into the job card, because eventually the installation is physical. Someone has to go and do the physical installation, meaning they have to get items from the store, and that is inventory. Inventory is involved. So if it is involved, why wait for someone else to take over the responsibility of assigning the equipment? You can just put it in the service component. Since the onboarding process has a manual element to it, like we saw when you are creating a customer, an invoice is going to be generated, and before that invoice is manually billed, if the device allocated is not required by the customer, then it will be removed. But you'd rather include it than have a situation whereby it was not included. So that's why you'd be able to do that. And you can see it's you can do tasks, labor, and inventory entries as well. Second last section is about FUP policy. This is where you can be able to define the policy that goes with your internet package. You can put a title on it, put the threshold, download, or the upload threshold. So this is the consumption threshold that triggers the policy. If you put something in both thresholds, we are going to track them both. So whichever comes first, it will trigger the FUP. If you put a limit, like let's say, 50 GB on download and like 20 GB on upload, the one that the customer hits first will trigger the FUP. If they hit the upload, it will trigger FUP. If they hit the download, it will trigger FUP. And it will apply the same shaping post-utilization. Different packages will have different shapings. You could have a standard one if you wanted, but if I'm using like whatever package you have, let's say 20 Mbps, and I hit my FUP, and then you bring me down to like 1 KB, is essentially you're saying I don't have internet. So you might want to manage that a little bit differently. Maybe you bring them down to a speed of like an MB or something. You'll figure it out. If you wanted to have different shaping, take for example, if someone hits the 20 GB, I'd want them to have a different shaping as they will be if they are hitting a 50 GB download. In that case, you'd create one fair usage policy for download and another one for upload, while leaving the other zero. That way, you've got separate policies and they will be enacted on separately. Just keep that in mind. In terms of the schedule, we only have the regular policy in place, implemented. The time-based is in work in progress. As you can see, there's timers, selections, and whatnot. That one is still in the works. But the regular policy is in place. And by regular, I mean, as long as it is active, it will come into effect anytime. The time-based, obviously, you can scope it. You can decide, oh, I want my policy to start being effective from this time of the day to this time of the day. Regular, it works all the time. And once customers are on FUP, they don't leave until you hit the reset button in their service account. We covered that in service accounts. Or you wait for midnight. That's when we reset all the FUP counters back to zero, and the customer can continue enjoying the original shipping. So obviously, once you set the shipping, you must ensure that the status is active if you want that FUP policy to be in effect. Below the FUP policy, we have service accounts. So this is just a breakdown of which accounts are actually connected to this particular package. So that you'll be able to have like a quick access. You can just click on them and you'll be able to open them. So in as far as services or packages are concerned, I believe we have covered all the items. So next we'll be looking at invoices.